Matthew 24:6. And you shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that be ye not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to you. How about Shanal Shah, about Shem, Kadash, Shalom to the elect. I want to give double honor to the elders and apostles of the great millstone, and the blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect, the house of David, the Bayaf Dawadah, for whom these epistles are written for these last days. Shalom to the elect. This is going to be a real quick lesson. This is just because I was reading a few articles, man. I thought it was pretty funny. You brothers that been paying attention, we're still in the, just past the Passover, the Passat. Things are cranking up as every Passat, it seems at this point, man. Like right after it, there's always some craziness going on. And the last couple of years, it seems like people have been trying to get up to the atmosphere. Okay, they're trying to escape, the destruction that's coming upon the earth. All right, which is going to be nuclear fire. Now the entire earth will not be destroyed. Okay, that's propaganda. Okay, sold to and by the Edomite to try to scare everyone into not fighting with nuclear weapons, which is not going to work because they're not even the one that's in charge of the nuclear weapons. It's Yahweh. But anyway, I'm gonna make this real quick. So we're gonna read this article. It's not gonna be a real long breakdown. You understand what we're going into. We're in a time of war. These are things that we need to update ourselves with. So we understand the times you're in, right? And I want to get that real quick too. Because that's important. I have to bring that out so you understand why we're doing this. Because it's not enough to just read the article or read Matthew 24. You have to understand why too. Okay, because it plays a part into your behavior at this time. Like, how should you behave yourself, knowing that America is going to be destroyed very, very soon? Should you go out and just be a complete demon, or would you just stay on brand? Okay, prophesy the word, go home. Okay, do whatever you do. Okay, through the Spirit, of course. This is 2 Esdras 9:1. It says, "He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself." And that's what we're commanded to do. We're commanded to measure the times, and we're doing that by reading these articles, reading the things. Just like this Artemis second ship that they took to the atmosphere. And they're acting like they went the furthest of any, human ever in history, blah, blah, blah. Like they went past the moon. Like, get out of here, man. And they told us 4 people is in there. But we don't know that. Okay? We don't know that. All right? But anyway, Esau has to do what he has to do because he knows that first and foremost, the thought out here is that you've never been to the moon. Okay? So he's trying to debunk that. And also he knows that the Hebrew Israelites are out here, we're doubling down on it. I know you didn't go to the moon. Okay? You did not go. You got to tell me how you got through that radiation band. All right? How did you get through the firmament, and how did you get through that radiation field that's surrounding the earth? And furthermore, if you get through there, how did you come back through without having all type of cancers? But anyway, it says, measure thou the times. Let me read it again. 2 Esdras 9:1. It says, "He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself." It says, "And when thou seest part of the signs pass." Okay. It says, "Which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made." So what are we saying here? What are we reading? We're reading a commandment from the Heavenly Father Yahweh unto his children. All right, starting with the men of the Lord. Okay, how did he get to the men of the Lord? Through Yahweh Shai. You have to go through Yahweh Shai to get to Yahweh. Okay, and Yahweh created Yahweh Shai and everything else. Well, actually, he created Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh Shai created everything else. But Yahweh Shai is his only begotten son, so he ain't gonna hide no secret from Yahweh Shai. And Yahweh Shai said that he would not hide any secrets from his friends. Okay, I believe that's in John 14. Okay, so his friends, which are also his servants, would know all things through Yahweh Shai, which was given unto him by Yahweh. So we're measuring times by using the things that we know. Does that make sense? We know that World War III is coming. We know that all hell is breaking loose. We know that the money system is getting ready to crash. All right, not soon, but soon enough. If you get what I'm saying, right? The dollar is very strong, but and the other thing is that it's tied to all the other currencies. So when the dollar falls, every other currency is going to fall by default. Okay, that's the way the system was created. That's the way it's held up. All right, it says, "Then shalt thou well understand. Then shalt thou understand that that is the very same time, or in the highest, will begin to visit the world which he made." So when we tell you these things like World War III, when we tell you how these other countries are getting ready to rise up, we're telling you this out of the information that the Heavenly Father has given unto us through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shemel Shai, not of our own words, not of our own thoughts. Okay? Some people would wish that they could say that about us, but that's not true. All right? So this is from RT News. It says Middle East is on fire from the Kremlin. The Kremlin is the capital of well, it's actually like the White House in Russia, right? That's basically their White House. Okay, so they're basically saying the Middle East is on fire, which we all can see for ourselves. It says Russia had warned about dangerous consequences of the U.S.-Israeli attack on Iran. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov has said. It says the U.S.-Israel war against Iran has set the Middle East on fire, reflecting Russia's warning about the dangerous consequences of the move. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov has said. On Sunday, U.S. President Donald Trump escalated tensions by insinuating or issuing an expletive-laden demand to Tehran, which is the capital of Iran, to unblock the Strait of Hormuz, which has remained effectively shut since the conflict began on February 28th. Ain't that funny how that works? How do you go tell somebody else what to do with their territory and you attack them? How does that work? If you attack me, right? If you attack me and there's a resource that you need to sustain your household, but it's on my property, it's in my grasp. It's on me whether I want to dole that out or deal with you on some type of level. But you done attack my house. Damn right you don't expect to get nothing from my house. You done attack me, attack my family. What the fuck? That's the boldness of America. They're like, look at these people. How you gonna demonstrate? You gonna tell me what you gonna do or what I better do? Anyway, the devil. All right. It says, open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards. But you attacked them. It says, or you'll be living in hell. He wrote on social media threatening to demolish the Iranian power plants and bridges if it doesn't happen by Tuesday. Tehran maintains that the key waterway is only closed for oil shipments by U.S. and its allies. Which, yeah, I mean, duh. If you attack me or attack my proxies, and you expect me to help you and your society while you're attacking me and villainizing me and saying I'm all type of terrorist and all that type of stuff, of course you should expect me. How are you that short-sighted? If you punch someone in the face who makes your food Why do you expect your food to still be made without extra ingredients, if you get what I'm saying? I'm just saying. This is why I never understood, like women who are rude at restaurants. Like, how the fuck are you rude at restaurants? Why are you going to be rude to someone who's making your food? That's a dumbass move. Anyway, it says, when asked by journalists about Trump's rant on Monday, Peskov said that we have seen these statements, but we prefer not to comment on them. They're laughing. They're like, what the hell wrong with this crazy dude? This dude's crazy as hell. It's crazy as cat shit. It says the spokesman stressed that tensions continue to escalate with basically the entire region on fire. Which, yeah, absolutely. That goes back to Matthew. This is in red letter. Okay, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Right. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Right. It also says that that the Heavenly Father would raise up these different kings, man, in these last days. Okay. He gonna raise up these kings in these last days, man, to fight. Okay, this is Joel 3:9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. That's right. So they're preparing themselves because they understand that America is coming with beef. Okay, they want your resources and they want you to shut the fuck up about it. Okay, it's getting so deep now. They're starting to try to censor surveillance, all right, or satellite surveillance. Meaning, you can usually take a satellite and you can peep in, and and you can show these images on the news, right? Because the news can, through the Freedom of Information Acts and things of that nature that they have internationally, all right, different news agencies throughout the world can use the Freedom of Information Act to try to reveal certain things that are going on in the world. And Trump ain't with that shit. He bucking against it. Matter of fact, they often, so-called journalists. Okay, so hey man, the man of war is drawing near. The spirit of war is here in the earth. It's here in the earth, man. And those of you that are trying to fight against the spirit of war, you're fighting a losing battle. Okay? It says, beat your plowshares into swords. This is Joel 3:10. Beat your plowshares into swords. It says, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong. Iran is traditionally a weak power. They were strong at one point during the Medo-Persian Empire. That empire has been since succeeded by the Grecian Empire and the Roman Empire. And now here we are again, and we're in the Roman Empire. But the Medo-Persians, they will not get an empire out of this. They're just fighting to save themselves. Okay? But the Lord has emboldened them, a traditionally weak power in today's world. The Lord has emboldened them to say, fuck it. Okay? And that's the spirit they're moving in. Okay, they're moving in that fucking spirit. They're not caring. Consequences be damned. Okay, because everybody sees America for what it truly is, man. Okay, they all see it, and now they're tired of the BS. They're tired of the fluff. They're tired of the back and forth. They're tired of the fake tough guy threats. They're tired of all of it, man. And now they're ready to see if you're really about their life. This is Jeremiah 51:7. It says, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. All right. The nations have drunken of her wine, which is her philosophies, her understanding, the way of law. Okay. International law. Okay. Solar law. Okay, they've drunken of that wine, and guess what? The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. They're upset. They're pissed off. Now you're over there fucking with everybody in the Middle East again. You've installed a puppet government over there the 1948ers, they fuck on everybody around them, threaten them with nukes. Okay. And you expect these people to just back down because you have nukes. They got nukes too. Okay. Or if they don't got nukes, they can make a phone call real quick, and guess what? Russia will pull up with them nukes and store it in their country. That's what's beautiful about Yahweh Shema Shah, man. He is a power of justice. Okay? Justice is the thing that Yahweh really, really wants. He wants justice. And the just thing that happened in this earth is for all you funky ass Edomites under the sound of my voice. All you Edomites that know that this world is on its way out. You're getting ready to go into chains for a very long time, and then you're not going to exist as a species anymore on the earth. Okay? Because the earth at that point, the Israelites will rule, and we don't need wickedness in the earth anymore. We've seen what pure wickedness looks like. This is the time period of it. Okay? So as these Edomites are getting off and doing what they want to do, allow Yahweh Shema Shai to finish this off, because the time is almost up. You can't do this forever. Okay? You can't do this forever. Back in the article, this is a quote from Dmitry, all right, the Russian spokesperson. It says, These are all dangerous and very negative consequences of the aggression unleashed against Iran. The geography of the conflict has expanded, and now we see the results, including the very negative repercussions for the global economy. So everyone's being touched financially through this. On top of that, our elders and apostles and bishops and lieutenants and men all the way down in Great Millstone have been saying this for years. You go into Iran, listen, you ain't gonna be there long before this thing becomes a quagmire. Where we are, we're at quagmire territory. Okay? To pretend that this ain't what's going on is to understand that you are a dummy or foolish. You don't understand what's going on is because the Lord didn't give it to you to receive. Okay, this is Revelation 9:12. It says, "One woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter." So World War I, World War II, and now quickly we're running into World War III. And this one, as Albert Einstein famously said, I know not how World War III would be fought, but World War IV is going to be fought with sticks and stones, meaning you're going to be knocked back into the Stone Age. You're going to be on some yabba dabba do. Now, not us, not the Israelites, okay? Because we're gonna have civilization on a high level, okay? We're not going back to the Stone Age. Matter of fact, you're going to be bombed back to Stone Age, because that's what the Lord wants, and then we're gonna make you build our kingdom, and you're gonna stay in the Stone Age. You don't believe me? You don't believe me? Isaiah 14:4 says, call all Yahweh Shema Shah 144. Isaiah 14:4 says that thou shalt take up a proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. Right. How hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. How did it get extinct? How was it destroyed? Verse 5, it says, the Lord Yahweh hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. So nobody's gonna get in opposition of the repercussions or the destruction that's coming to Babylon the Great. Everybody's gonna stand afar and say, have at it. And that's what the spokesperson from Russia is saying. Nobody's going to stop what's going to happen to America. All right? Let it be known. Let it be a lesson. It says the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Not only are they not going to hinder, get in the middle of you getting your ass kicked by the entire earth and the aliens. I was about to say the aliens and the chariots of Yahweh Shah and Yahweh Shah himself and his men and the Leviathan. The entire earth is going to rise up against you. Brother sent me a video earlier this morning with this black woman. And enough of the black woman. Anyway, I'm not going to go a whole rant. She's breaking down Job 9 and 29 and 41, Job 41, Job 41, all wrong. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that. I'm just saying that the entire earth is sick of your philosophy, meaning your wine. It's sick of your fucking wine. It's sick of the way you run things. It's sick of how you philosophize fucking wrong and make it right. So therefore, your sentence is to be destroyed. Okay? It says, this is Isaiah 14:7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Verse 9, it says, hell from beneath is moved from thee. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee. Even all the chief ones of the earth. Woo, that's talking about the banking families. It says, it have raised up from the thrones all the kings of the nations. All you, not just the Edomites, because America is going to be completely annihilated. It will never be a place of refuge or anywhere else or anywhere. Or America will not be a place anymore. It will be a standing monument for all the earth to see. When you fuck with Yahweh or his children, this is what happens to you. It's going right now. America has over 330 plus million people in it. And there's going to be a day when that number is going to drop down to zero. And because of intercontinental ballistic missiles, this is what the spokesperson from Russia is saying. He's already saying what we already been saying, started with our elders and apostles. He's saying, hey, we're going to back up our ally, and you're going to pay the price for this. America is putting their ear, all that bullshit, right? Being children. Verse 10, it says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Right. Look at America. Oh, look, man, America is falling apart. Look at this place. That's what he's saying in that article. He's stating the obvious. The education is terrible. You jail half your population. Okay? You finesse loans out of people, out of countries. Okay, and then when they come for their money, you trying to fight them and destroy them. You attack them, unprovoked. You attack a country unprovoked. And then when they shut down resources that you need to keep your society moving, you go on a rant and say, well, you better do it or else. Or else what? We get into the or else what part of the movie now, okay? Well, we already passed that point, but now we get into the point where it's like everybody sees it for what it is, and they just like, look, man, I already ain't got shit. Why? That's why they always tell you, don't fight a man that ain't got nothing to lose. You a man yourself, and you got everything to lose. Never fight a man who has nothing to lose. Okay. Like a wise man named Charlemagne the Devil said, hey, you taking this fight to the floor, he gonna take this bitch to hell. Okay? It is what it is. You can't tell a man how to respond. You attacking him unprovoked with your little buddy, the 48ers out there, and then when he shut down the Strait of Hormuz, basically shutting off, you know what I'm saying, your oil. Now oil prices are $4.50 a gallon for unleaded, okay? And the citizens are complaining about this shit. Now you didn't, man, listen, the time for talking is over with, man. We getting ready to go into some times where you're gonna have to shut the fuck up. And this is the spirit of the devil. Esau Edom, the so-called white man. This is Isaiah 14:13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, which, hey, what is he doing right now with that Artemis exploration, quote unquote, right? Saying that this is the furthest humans ever been. We don't know those are humans in there. We don't know those are clones. We don't know we don't know what's going on. All we know is what Esau tells us, and we know that he's a fork-tongued devil. Okay? It says, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation, which is the Israelites. It says, in the sides of the north. So he's saying, I'm going to exalt over Yahweh and Yahushua, his son. I'm going to destroy him. That's what he's saying. And the Lord hears these proud ass words. And what do you think the Lord is doing? He's gearing up to say, okay, bet. Bet. I heard you talking. Let's see if you about it. And Esau, knowing that he's a wiggling idiot, he's really gearing up that he's going to try to fight the Most High. He thinks this shit. But the Lord is not only got him boxed in, but he's got him trapped in that trick bag, man. Because he got to fight World War III. And he ain't going to make that. So how you going to fight the Most High? Isaiah 14:19, it says, but thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as an raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, which is the intercontinental ballistic missiles. It says that go down to the stones of the pit, which the pit is the system. It says, and as a carcass trodden underfoot. That's what you're gonna become. That's what the new Roman Empire is becoming, trodden underfoot. All right, verse 20, it says, thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. So the seed line is a very important thing. So if your seed line goes back to, whether you be man or woman, if you are a descendant of the Edomite period, or the Edomites period, or Esau period, and it's discovered because it's through the spirit. Look, the Lord has all the records. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say. Oh, how we get there? No, the Lord. Do you not believe the Lord knows all things? If he knows all things, you wouldn't think he knows who the Edomites are. So if you're a descendant of the Edomites, I don't give a damn what you look like. You can look like Tia and Tamara, okay, but you still a fucking Edomite. You can look like Tracy Ellis Ross, right? Tracy Ellis Ross was married, was born to Diana Ross and a so-called Jew, a crypto at that. We don't know if his line traces back to the Edomites, so more than likely he probably is, because she's kind of weird. But anyway, but yeah, as it stands right now, we know her to be an Edomite. And guess what? Just because she has so-called black skin does not mean that destruction ain't coming upon her. It's coming to her, and it's coming to all Edomites. Okay? The typical Edomite looks more like Taylor Swift. That's what the typical Edomite looks like. But there are some Edomites that look like Tracy Ellis Ross. Okay? Because the seed line matters more. It's not about what you look like, it's the seed line. If your seed line goes back to Esau, Edom, you're going to be destroyed and you're going into slavery. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Okay? Verse 21 is the point I wanted to get. Verse 21, it says, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, right? This is why we keep harping. Yo, the seed line is important. People be like, oh, but she don't even look like that. But she black though, bro. She black though. No. I try to explain this to a fucking camel jockey head nigga. He didn't get it, obviously, because the spirit ain't dealing with him. I was like, yo, it's some Israelites that are not, that look like black people. There's some most of the Israelites, all right, would look like so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. But there are some Israelites that don't look like so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. They might present as something else, but the spirit in them is different because, and everybody know, like Bolo Young, not Jackie Chan, I think he had more like, but Bruce Lee, okay, notable ones. But then for the ones that might be Edomites, right, or some other nation, the most notable ones that we know of is Tia and Tamara and their little brother, Lenny Kravitz, okay. Usually you could tell by the taste of music, the way they eat. They like steak tartare, or they like, they're medium rare, bloody meat and shit like that. That usually that's a sign that they're eating like. Anyway, I went into a whole rant. Anyway, so yeah, listen, I just wanted to go into this. I thought this was pretty interesting. This is Isaiah 14 and 21. It says, thou shalt not be slacking, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. It says that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. Meaning all these names like Paris, France, and the London, UK, and America, and all these different, them shits is going to go away because those names will be stripped. Those are actually the actual names they will be in the future. America won't be here no more, period. But these other countries like that we know of today, this is going to be a whole world takeover. It will not be the same thing as you remember it today. And guess what? You'll be better for it. So we need more war. We need more division. We need America to continue to do the stupid shit they're doing so that the war can kick off smoothly. So that these wars are going to end up with everybody shooting their nukes at America, namely. So with that, I want to give all praises, Lord, unto you. How about Shema Shabbat, Shalom, Shalom to the elect.